Good morning. Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever had a thought that just wouldn't leave you alone? A thought that whispered, you're not good enough, you'll never succeed, or it's never going to work out. We've all been there. Negative thoughts are like uninvited guests. They show up at the worst times, overstay their welcome, and try to convince you they belong. But here's the truth. You don't have to let them live rent-free in your mind. Today, I want to talk about how we can deal with negative thoughts, not by fighting them, but by replacing them. Because here's the thing, your mind is a battlefield, and the thoughts you entertain will determine the life you live. If you dwell on fear, you'll live a life of limitation. If you dwell on doubt, you'll live a life of hesitation. But if you dwell on hope, on faith, on possibility, you'll live a life of abundance. So, how do we do this? Let me give you 3 simple but powerful steps. First, recognize the source. Negative thoughts don't come from your true self. They come from fear, from past hurts, from comparison, from the noise of the world. They're not facts, they're feelings. And feelings are temporary. When you feel that wave of negativity coming, don't ignore it. Acknowledge it. Say, I see you, fear. I see you, doubt. But you don't get to define me. When you recognize the source, you take away its power. Second, reframe the narrative. Here's where the magic happens. You have the power to change the story. Instead of saying, I'll never get this right, say, I'm learning and I'm getting better every day. Instead of saying, I'm not enough, say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made and I have everything I need to succeed. When you reframe the narrative, you shift from victim to victor. You stop focusing on what's wrong and start focusing on what's possible. Third, replace the thought with truth. This is the game changer. You can't just push out a negative thought. You have to replace it with something stronger. Fill your mind with truth. Write down affirmations. Meditate on what's good, what's pure, what's hopeful. Speak life over yourself. Say, I am strong, I am capable, I am loved, I am destined for greatness. When you fill your mind with truth, there's no room for lies. Let me leave you with this. Your thoughts are like seeds. If you plant negativity, you'll harvest discouragement. But if you plant faith, you'll harvest victory. You have the power to choose what you dwell on. You have the power to rise above the noise and focus on what truly matters. So today I challenge you, take control of your thoughts. Don't let negativity steal your joy, your peace, or your potential. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and destined for more than you can imagine. Deal with those negative thoughts. Not by fighting them, but by replacing them with truth, with hope, with faith. And remember this, the best is yet to come. Let's live like we believe it. Thank you, and God bless you. Negative thoughts are something every single one of us experiences at some point in our lives. They creep into our minds, often uninvited, and can quickly take root if we don't address them. The first step in dealing with negative thoughts is to recognize their source. This is crucial because understanding where these thoughts come from helps us take away their power. When we can identify the origin of negativity, we can begin to dismantle its hold on us. Negative thoughts don't just appear out of nowhere. They often stem from past experiences, external influences, or even our own insecurities. For example, if you've ever been criticized or told you weren't good enough, those words can linger in your subconscious and resurface when you're faced with a challenge. They might whisper, "You're not capable," or "You're going to fail." These thoughts aren't truths. They're echoes of someone else's opinion or a moment of doubt that has been amplified over time. Sometimes negative thoughts come from comparison. In today's world, it's easy to look at someone else's life, whether it's on social media, at work, or in your community, and feel like you don't measure up. You might think, "Why can't I have what they have?" Or "I'll never be as successful as they are." But here's the thing, comparison is a thief. It steals your joy and distorts your perspective. When you compare yourself to others, you're not seeing the full picture. You're only seeing a highlight reel, not the struggles, the failures, or the hard work that went into their success. Other times, negative thoughts are born out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Fear is a natural human emotion, but it can become toxic when it starts to dictate your decisions and shape your thoughts. Fear tells you, "What if it doesn't work out?" Or "What if I'm not good enough?" It magnifies the risks and minimizes the possibilities. But fear is not a fact, it's a feeling. And feelings are temporary. They come and go, but they don't have to define you. Another source of negative thoughts is our environment, the people we surround ourselves with, the media we consume, and the conversations we engage in. All have an impact on our mindset. If you're constantly around people who complain, criticize, or focus on the worst case scenario, it's going to rub off on you. Similarly, if you're consuming content that's negative or fear-based, it's going to influence the way you think. Your environment shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your reality. Stress and exhaustion can also fuel negative thinking. When you're tired, overwhelmed, or burned out, your mind is more susceptible to negativity. It's harder to see the good, to stay hopeful, or to believe in yourself. Stress amplifies doubt and makes it harder to think clearly. That's why it's so important to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. When you're well rested and balanced, you're better equipped to handle negative thoughts when they arise. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts is the first step in taking back control. It's about becoming aware of what's triggering those thoughts and understanding that they're not a reflection of reality, they're just thoughts. And thoughts can be changed. When you recognize that negative thoughts are coming from a place of fear, comparison, or past experiences, you can start to separate yourself from them. You can say, "This isn't me, this is just a thought, and I don't have to believe it." One of the most powerful ways to recognize the source of negative thoughts is through self-reflection. Take a moment to pause and ask yourself, where is this thought coming from? Is it based on facts, or is it rooted in fear or insecurity? Journaling can be a helpful tool for this. Write down your thoughts and try to trace them back to their origin. You might be surprised at what you discover. Often, negative thoughts are tied to something deeper, a past hurt, a limiting belief, or a fear of the unknown. When you bring those thoughts into the light, they lose their power. Another way to recognize the source of negative thoughts is to pay attention to patterns. Do certain situations or people trigger negativity? Are there specific times of day when you feel more prone to negative thinking? By identifying these patterns, you can start to anticipate and prepare for them. For example, if you know that scrolling through social media makes you feel inadequate, you can limit your time on those platforms or follow accounts that inspire and uplift you. It's also important to recognize that not all negative thoughts are bad. Sometimes they serve as a signal that something needs to change. For example, if you're constantly thinking, I'm so stressed, it might be a sign that you need to reevaluate your priorities or take better care of yourself. Negative thoughts can be a catalyst for growth if you use them as an opportunity to reflect and make positive changes. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts is about taking ownership of your mindset. It's about understanding that you have the power to choose which thoughts you entertain and which ones you let go. When you recognize that negative thoughts are coming from a place of fear, comparison, or past experiences, you can start to challenge them. You can ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it moving me forward or holding me back? This process isn't about denying your feelings or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging your thoughts without letting them define you. It's about saying, I see you, fear. I see you, doubt, but you don't get to control me. When you recognize the source of negative thoughts, you take away their power. You remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who gets to decide which thoughts to believe. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts also involves being kind to yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up for having negative thoughts, but that only adds to the negativity. Instead, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's normal to have negative thoughts from time to time. What matters is how you respond to them. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend who's struggling. Another important aspect of recognizing the source of negative thoughts is understanding that they are not permanent. Thoughts come and go, and they don't have to define your reality. Just because you have a negative thought doesn't mean it's true. It's just a thought, a passing moment in your mind. When you recognize this, you can start to let go of the weight of negativity. You can remind yourself that this too shall pass. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts is also about building awareness. It's about paying attention to your inner dialogue and noticing when negativity starts to creep in. The more aware you are of your thoughts, the easier it becomes to catch them before they spiral out of control. This awareness gives you the power to intervene and redirect your thinking. Finally, recognizing the source of negative thoughts is about taking responsibility for your mindset. It's about understanding that while you can't control every thought that enters your mind, you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to dwell on negativity, or you can choose to focus on positivity. You can choose to let fear dictate your decisions, or you can choose to move forward in faith. The choice is yours. When you recognize the source of negative thoughts, you take the first step toward freedom. You begin to see that negativity doesn't have to control you. You have the power to change your thoughts, and in doing so, you can change your life. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because when you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your destiny. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts is a journey, not a destination. It's something you'll need to practice every day, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll start to notice a shift in your mindset. You'll become more resilient, more hopeful, and more confident in your ability to overcome negativity. So the next time a negative thought enters your mind, don't ignore it, don't fight it, just recognize it. Ask yourself, where's this coming from? And then remind yourself that you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to replace negativity with positivity, fear with faith, and doubt with confidence. Recognizing the source of negative thoughts is the first step in taking back control of your mind and your life. It's about understanding that negativity doesn't have to define you. You are not your thoughts. You are so much more. And when you recognize that, you can start to live the life you were meant to live, a life of hope, of faith, and of endless possibility. Reframing the narrative is one of the most powerful tools we have when it comes to dealing with negative thoughts. It's about shifting our perspective, taking a thought that feels heavy, limiting, or discouraging, and turning it into something empowering, hopeful, and constructive. This process isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the situation in a way that serves us rather than holds us back. It's about rewriting the story we tell ourselves so that we can move forward with confidence and clarity. When we reframe the narrative, we're essentially changing the way we interpret events, challenges, or even our own abilities. For example, instead of thinking, I failed at this, so I'm a failure, we can reframe it to, this didn't work out the way I hoped, but I learned something valuable that will help me next time. This shift in perspective doesn't change the facts of the situation, but it changes how we feel about it, and that makes all the difference. Reframing allows us to take control of our mindset and focus on what's possible rather than what's gone wrong. Another area where reframing is incredibly powerful is in how we view ourselves. Many of us struggle with self-doubt and negative self-talk. We focus on our flaws, our mistakes, and the things we wish we could change. But when we reframe the way we see ourselves, we can start to embrace our strengths, our potential, and our inherent worth. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, we can say, I'm a work in progress and I'm getting better every day. Instead of dwelling on what we lack, we can focus on what we have to offer. Reframing our self-perception allows us to see ourselves through a lens of compassion and possibility rather than criticism and limitation. Reframing also helps us deal with uncertainty and fear of the unknown. It's natural to feel anxious when we're faced with situations we can't control or outcomes we can't predict. But when we reframe uncertainty as an adventure rather than a threat, we can approach it with curiosity and excitement instead of fear. Instead of thinking, what if something goes wrong, we can say, what if something amazing happens? This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate the uncertainty, but it changes how we feel about it. It allows us to embrace the unknown as a space of possibility rather than a source of anxiety. One of the keys to reframing the narrative is to focus on what we can control rather than what we can't. When we're faced with difficult situations, it's easy to feel powerless and overwhelmed. But even in the most challenging circumstances, there are always things within our control: our attitude, our effort, and our response. Reframing helps us shift our focus from what's happening to us to what we can do about it. Instead of thinking, this is happening to me and there's nothing I can do, we can say, this is happening and I have the power to choose how I respond. This shift in focus empowers us to take action and move forward, even when the situation feels out of our control. Reframing also involves looking for the silver lining in every situation. Even in the darkest moments, there's always something to be grateful for or something to learn. When we train ourselves to look for the good, we start to see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. For example, if you lose your job, it's easy to feel defeated and hopeless. But if you reframe the situation, you might see it as an opportunity to pursue a new career path, learn new skills, or spend more time with your family. Reframing helps us find meaning and purpose in even the most difficult circumstances. Another important aspect of reframing is to challenge limiting beliefs. Many of us carry beliefs about ourselves or the world that hold us back. Beliefs like, I'm not smart enough, I'll never succeed, or the world is against me. These beliefs often stem from past experiences or messages we've internalized over time. But when we reframe these beliefs, we can start to see them for what they are, just thoughts, not truths. Instead of thinking, I'm not smart enough, we can say, I may not know everything, but I'm capable of learning and growing. Instead of believing, the world is against me, we can remind ourselves, the world is full of opportunities, and I have the power to create my own path. Reframing also helps us cultivate a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When we reframe challenges as opportunities to grow, we embrace a growth mindset and open ourselves up to new possibilities. Instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, we can say, I'm not good at this yet, but I can improve with practice. This shift in perspective encourages us to keep trying even when things are difficult and to see setbacks as part of the learning process. Reframing the narrative is also about focusing on the present moment. Many of our negative thoughts are rooted in regret about the past or worry about the future. But when we reframe our focus to the present, we can let go of what's already happened and stop fearing what's yet to come. Instead of thinking, I messed up in the past and I'll never recover, we can say, the past is behind me and I have the power to create a better future starting right now. Reframing helps us stay grounded in the present and take action in the here and now. Another way to reframe the narrative is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right. When we take time to appreciate the good things in our lives, we start to see that even in difficult times, there's always something to be thankful for. Reframing through gratitude helps us cultivate a positive mindset and reminds us that life is full of blessings, even when things don't go as planned. Reframing also involves changing the way we talk to ourselves. The language we use has a powerful impact on our thoughts and emotions. When we use negative self-critical language, we reinforce negative thoughts and feelings. But when we reframe our self-talk to be more positive and encouraging, we start to build confidence and resilience. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we can say, I'm going to give it my best shot. Instead of thinking, I'm such a failure, we can remind ourselves, I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough. Reframing the narrative is a skill that takes practice, but the more we do it, the more natural it becomes. It's about training our minds to see the good, focus on what's possible, and believe in our ability to overcome challenges. When we reframe the narrative, we take control of our thoughts and emotions, and we create a mindset that empowers us to thrive no matter what life throws our way. Replacing negative thoughts with truth is a transformative process that allows us to break free from the cycle of negativity and step into a mindset of empowerment, clarity, and hope. It's not enough to simply push away negative thoughts. We must actively replace them with something stronger, something rooted in truth and positivity. This process is about filling our minds with thoughts that uplift, inspire, and propel us forward, rather than thoughts that weigh us down and hold us back. When we replace negative thoughts with truth, we create a mental environment that fosters growth, resilience, and confidence. The first step in replacing negative thoughts with truth is to identify the lies we've been telling ourselves. Negative thoughts often masquerade as truths, but when we take a closer look, we realize they're based on fear, insecurity, or past experiences that no longer serve us. For example, a thought like, "I'm not good enough," might feel true in the moment, but when we examine it, we realize it's not a fact. It's a belief that's been reinforced over time. Identifying these lies is crucial because it allows us to challenge them and replace them with truths that align with who we truly are and what we're capable of. Once we've identified the negative thoughts, the next step is to actively replace them with affirmations or truths that counteract them. Affirmations are positive statements that help us reprogram our minds and shift our focus from what's wrong to what's possible. For example, if you're struggling with self-doubt and find yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed," you can replace that thought with an affirmation like, "I am capable and I have everything I need to achieve my goals." The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and feel authentic. When we repeat these affirmations consistently, they start to take root in our minds, replacing the negative thoughts that once dominated our thinking. Replacing negative thoughts with truth also involves grounding ourselves in reality. Negative thoughts often exaggerate or distort the truth, making situations seem worse than they actually are. When we take a step back and look at the facts, we often realize that our negative thoughts are based on assumptions or worst-case scenarios rather than reality. For example, if you're worried about a presentation at work and find yourself thinking, "I'm going to mess up and everyone will think I'm incompetent," you can replace that thought with a more balanced perspective. "I've prepared for this, and even if I make a mistake, it doesn't define my worth or abilities." Grounding ourselves in reality helps us see situations more clearly and respond to them in a way that's constructive rather than reactive. Another powerful way to replace negative thoughts with truth is to focus on our strengths and accomplishments. It's easy to get caught up in what we're lacking or what we haven't achieved, but when we shift our focus to what we've already accomplished and the strengths we possess, we start to build a foundation of confidence and self-belief. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a new project and find yourself thinking, "Well, I can't do this," you can replace that thought with a reminder of past successes. "I've tackled challenging projects before, and I have the skills and experience to handle this one too." Focusing on our strengths helps us approach challenges with a sense of capability and optimism. Replacing negative thoughts with truth also involves surrounding ourselves with positive influences. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, and the environments we're in all have a significant impact on our thoughts and mindset. When we surround ourselves with positivity, whether it's through uplifting conversations, inspiring books, or supportive relationships, we create a mental space that's conducive to replacing negativity with truth. For example, if you're constantly around people who complain or focus on the negative, it's going to be harder to maintain a positive mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who encourage and inspire you, it becomes easier to replace negative thoughts with truths that uplift and empower you. Another important aspect of replacing negative thoughts with truth is practicing self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we're struggling or when things don't go as planned, but self-criticism only reinforces negative thoughts. When we practice self-compassion, we treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. For example, if you make a mistake and find yourself thinking, "I'm such a failure," you can replace that thought with a more compassionate perspective. "I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean I'm a failure. I'm human, and I'm learning and growing every day. Self-compassion helps us replace harsh self-judgment with truths that nurture and support us. Replacing negative thoughts with truth also involves focusing on what we can control rather than what we can't. Negative thoughts often arise when we feel powerless or overwhelmed by circumstances beyond our control. But even in the most challenging situations, there are always things within our control: our attitude, our effort, and our response. When we focus on what we can control, we shift our mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. For example, if you're worried about an upcoming event and find yourself thinking, what if everything goes wrong? You can replace that thought with a focus on what you can do to prepare. I can't control everything, but I can control how I prepare and how I respond to whatever happens. This shift in focus helps us replace anxiety with action and fear with confidence. Another powerful way to replace negative thoughts with truth is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right, helping us see the good in our lives even when things feel difficult. When we take time to appreciate the blessings we have, we create a mental space that's less susceptible to negativity. For example, if you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you can replace thoughts like everything is going wrong with a gratitude practice. Even though things are tough right now, I'm grateful for my health, my family, and the opportunities I have. Gratitude helps us replace negativity with a sense of abundance and appreciation. Replacing negative thoughts with truth also involves challenging limiting beliefs. Many of us carry beliefs about ourselves or the world that hold us back. Beliefs like, I'm not smart enough, I'll never succeed, or I don't deserve happiness. These beliefs often stem from past experiences or messages we've internalized over time, but they're not truths. When we challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering truths, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. For example, if you believe, I'm not smart enough, you can replace that belief with a truth like, I may not know everything, but I'm capable of learning and growing. Challenging limiting beliefs helps us break free from self-imposed limitations and step into our full potential. Another key aspect of replacing negative thoughts with truth is to focus on progress rather than perfection. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't meet our own high expectations, but when we shift our focus to progress, we create a mindset that's more forgiving and encouraging. For example, if you're working toward a goal and find yourself thinking, I'm not where I want to be, you can replace that thought with a focus on how far you've come. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I've made progress and I'm moving in the right direction. Focusing on progress helps us replace discouragement with motivation, and self-doubt with confidence. Replacing negative thoughts with truth also involves visualizing success. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps us create a mental image of what we want to achieve, making it easier to believe in our ability to succeed. When we visualize ourselves overcoming challenges and achieving our goals, we replace negative thoughts with a sense of possibility and hope. For example, if you're nervous about an upcoming presentation, you can replace thoughts like, I'm going to mess up, with a visualization of yourself delivering the presentation confidently and successfully. Visualization helps us replace fear with faith and doubt with determination. Finally, replacing negative thoughts with truth requires consistency and practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but with time and effort, it becomes a natural part of our thought process. The more we practice replacing negative thoughts with truth, the more we strengthen our mental resilience and create a mindset that's rooted in positivity and possibility. It's about making a conscious choice every day to focus on what's true, what's good, and what's possible, rather than what's negative, limiting, or discouraging. When we commit to this practice, we create a mental environment that empowers us to thrive no matter what challenges we face. Controlling your focus is one of the most powerful ways to take charge of your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your life. Where you direct your attention determines how you experience the world. If you focus on negativity, fear, and limitations, that's what will dominate your reality. But if you focus on positivity, hope, and possibilities, you'll create a life filled with growth, joy, and fulfillment. Controlling your focus isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to place your mental energy so that you can navigate life with clarity, resilience, and purpose. The first step in controlling your focus is to become aware of where your attention is going. Many of us operate on autopilot, allowing our thoughts to wander wherever they please without realizing the impact they have on our emotions and actions. But when we start paying attention to our thoughts, we gain the power to redirect them. For example, if you notice that you're constantly thinking about what could go wrong or dwelling on past mistakes, you can consciously shift your focus to what's going right or what you can do to move forward. Awareness is the foundation of control, and it's the first step in taking charge of your focus. Once you're aware of where your focus is going, the next step is to intentionally direct it toward what serves you. This means choosing to focus on thoughts, ideas, and activities that align with your goals, values, and well-being. For example, if you're working toward a big goal and find yourself getting overwhelmed by self-doubt, you can redirect your focus to the progress you've made so far and the steps you can take to keep moving forward. By intentionally directing your focus, you create a mental environment that supports your growth and success rather than hindering it. Controlling your focus also involves setting boundaries around what you allow into your mind. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions that can pull our attention in a million different directions. If you're not careful, it's easy to get caught up in negativity, comparison, or fear. That's why it's so important to set boundaries around what you consume, whether it's the news, social media, or conversations with others. For example, if you notice that scrolling through social media leaves you feeling inadequate or stressed, you can set a limit on how much time you spend on those platforms or unfollow accounts that don't uplift you. By setting boundaries, you protect your focus and create space for positivity and growth. Another key aspect of controlling your focus is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When we're mindful, we're able to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This allows us to choose where to place our focus rather than being carried away by whatever thoughts or feelings arise. For example, if you're feeling anxious about an upcoming event, mindfulness can help you notice the anxiety without letting it consume you. Instead of getting lost in worry, you can bring your focus back to the present moment and take action to prepare or calm yourself. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for controlling your focus and creating a sense of calm and clarity in the midst of chaos. Controlling your focus also involves prioritizing what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and lose sight of what's most important. But when we take the time to identify our priorities, whether it's our relationships, health, or personal growth, We can direct our focus toward what truly aligns with our values and goals. For example, if you value spending quality time with your family, you can make a conscious effort to focus on being fully present during those moments rather than letting work or distractions pull you away. By prioritizing what matters most, you ensure that your focus is aligned with what brings you fulfillment and joy. Another important aspect of controlling your focus is learning to let go of what you can't control. Many of us waste mental energy worrying about things that are outside of our control, whether it's other people's opinions, past mistakes, or future uncertainties. But when we focus on what we can't control, we create unnecessary stress and anxiety. Instead, we can choose to focus on what we can control, our attitude, our effort, and our response to the situation. For example, if you're worried about an upcoming presentation, you can't control how others will react, but you can control how well you prepare and how confidently you present yourself. By letting go of what you can't control and focusing on what you can, you create a sense of empowerment and peace. Controlling your focus also involves cultivating a positive mindset. Our thoughts have a powerful impact on our emotions and actions. And when we focus on positivity, we create a mental environment that supports our well-being and success. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what's good, what's possible, and what's within your power to change. For example, if you're facing a difficult situation, you can choose to focus on the lessons you're learning or the strengths you're developing rather than dwelling on the difficulties. Cultivating a positive mindset helps you approach life with optimism and resilience, even in the face of challenges. Another way to control your focus is to set clear intentions. Intentions are like a compass that guides your thoughts and actions toward what you want to achieve. When you set a clear intention, you create a sense of purpose and direction that helps you stay focused on what matters most. For example, if your intention is to live a healthy lifestyle, you can focus on making choices that support that goal, whether it's eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, or getting enough sleep. Setting intentions helps you align your focus with your goals and values, making it easier to stay on track and avoid distractions. Controlling your focus also involves practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts your attention from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life, helping you see the good even in difficult situations. When you take time to appreciate the blessings you have, you create a mental space that's less susceptible to negativity and more open to positivity. For example, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you can focus on what you're grateful for: your health, your relationships, or the opportunities you have. Practicing gratitude helps you control your focus by reminding you of the good in your life and creating a sense of abundance and appreciation. Another powerful way to control your focus is to engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. When you're doing something you love, it's easier to stay focused and present in the moment. Whether it's a hobby, a creative pursuit, or spending time with loved ones, engaging in activities that bring you joy helps you direct your focus toward what truly matters. For example, if you love painting, spending time creating art can help you focus on the present moment and let go of worries or distractions. Engaging in joyful activities helps you recharge and refocus, making it easier to approach life with energy and enthusiasm. Controlling your focus also involves managing your environment. Your surroundings have a significant impact on your thoughts and mindset. And when you create an environment that supports your focus, it becomes easier to stay on track. For example, if you're trying to focus on work, You can create a clutter-free workspace that minimizes distractions. If you're trying to focus on relaxation, you can create a calming environment with soft lighting, soothing music, or comforting scents. Managing your environment helps you control your focus by creating a space that aligns with your goals and intentions. Finally, controlling your focus requires consistency and practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but with time and effort, it becomes a natural part of your thought process. The more you practice directing your focus toward what serves you, the easier it becomes to stay focused and present in the moment. It's about making a conscious choice every day to focus on what's true, what's good, and what's possible, rather than what's negative, limiting, or distracting. When you commit to controlling your focus, you create a mental environment that empowers you to thrive no matter what challenges you face. Planting positive seeds is a powerful metaphor for the way our thoughts, words, and actions shape our lives. Just as a gardener carefully selects seeds to plant in order to grow a thriving garden, we must be intentional about the seeds we plant in our minds and hearts. These seeds, our thoughts, beliefs, and habits, determine the quality of our lives. When we plant positive seeds, we cultivate a mindset of growth, resilience, and abundance. But when we plant negative seeds, we create a landscape of limitation, fear, and scarcity. The choice is ours. And the process begins with understanding the power of the seeds we plant and taking responsibility for nurturing them. The first step in planting positive seeds is to become aware of the thoughts we're allowing to take root in our minds. Our thoughts are like seeds. They have the potential to grow into something much larger. If we constantly dwell on negative thoughts, such as self-doubt, fear, or criticism, those seeds will grow into a mindset that holds us back. But if we focus on positive thoughts, such as gratitude, hope, and self-belief, those seeds will grow into a mindset that empowers. Becoming aware of our thoughts is the first step in taking control of the seeds we plant. It's about noticing when negative thoughts arise and consciously choosing to replace them with positive ones. Once we're aware of the seeds we're planting, the next step is to intentionally choose positive ones. This means focusing on thoughts, beliefs, and habits that align with our goals, values, and well-being. For example, if you're working toward a big goal and find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," you can replace that thought with a positive seed like, "I am capable, and I have everything I need to succeed." By intentionally choosing positive seeds, we create a mental environment that supports our growth and success rather than hindering it. It's about being proactive in planting seeds that will bear fruit in the future. Planting positive seeds also involves cultivating a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful seeds we can plant because it shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in our lives. When we take time to appreciate the blessings we have, we create a mental space that's less susceptible to negativity and more open to positivity. For example, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you can plant a seed of gratitude by focusing on what you're thankful for: your health, your relationships, or the opportunities you have. Gratitude helps us see the good in our lives and creates a sense of abundance and appreciation. Another important aspect of planting positive seeds is to surround ourselves with positive influences. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, and the environments we're in all have a significant impact on the seeds we plant in our minds. If we're constantly surrounded by negativity, whether it's through toxic relationships, fear-based news, or discouraging conversations, it's going to be harder to plant positive seeds. But if we surround ourselves with positivity, whether it's through uplifting relationships, inspiring books, or supportive environments, we create a fertile ground for positive seeds to grow. For example, if you're trying to cultivate a mindset of confidence and self-belief, you can spend time with people who encourage and inspire you. Read books that motivate you and engage in activities that uplift you. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences helps us plant seeds that nurture our growth and well-being. Planting positive seeds also involves practicing self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we're struggling or when things don't go as planned. But self-criticism only plants seeds of negativity. When we practice self-compassion, we treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. For example, if you make a mistake and find yourself thinking, "I'm such a failure," you can plant a seed of self-compassion by saying, "I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean I'm a failure. I'm human, and I'm learning and growing every day." Self-compassion helps us replace harsh self-judgment with seeds of kindness and acceptance. Another key aspect of planting positive seeds is to focus on progress rather than perfection. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't meet our own high expectations. But when we focus on progress, we plant seeds of encouragement and motivation. For example, if you're working toward a goal and find yourself thinking, "I'm not where I want to be," you can plant a seed of progress by saying, "I may not be where I want to be yet, but I've made progress and I'm moving in the right direction." Focusing on progress helps us plant seeds of resilience and determination rather than seeds of discouragement and self-doubt. Planting positive seeds also involves visualizing success. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps us create a mental image of what we want to achieve, making it easier to believe in our ability to succeed. When we visualize ourselves overcoming challenges and achieving our goals, we plant seeds of possibility and hope. For example, if you're nervous about an upcoming presentation, you can plant a seed of success by visualizing yourself delivering the presentation confidently and effectively. Visualization helps us replace seeds of fear and doubt with seeds of confidence and determination. Another important aspect of planting positive seeds is to practice affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that help us reprogram our minds and shift our focus from what's wrong to what's possible. When we repeat affirmations consistently, they start to take root in our minds, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. For example, if you're struggling with self-doubt and find yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed," you can plant a seed of affirmation by saying, "I am capable and I have everything I need to achieve my goals." Affirmations help us plant seeds of self-belief and empowerment. Planting positive seeds also involves taking action. Thoughts and words are important, but they must be accompanied by action in order to grow. When we take steps toward our goals, we plant seeds of progress and achievement. For example, if you're trying to improve your health, you can plant a seed of action by committing to exercise regularly, eat nutritious foods, and get enough sleep. Taking action helps us turn our positive thoughts and intentions into reality. Finally, planting positive seeds requires consistency and patience. Just as a garden takes time to grow, our minds and lives take time to transform. It's not enough to plant a few positive seeds and expect immediate results. We must consistently nurture and care for the seeds we plant, even when we don't see immediate growth. For example, if you're trying to cultivate a mindset of gratitude, it's not enough to practice gratitude once in a while. You must make it a daily habit, even when it feels difficult or when life gets busy. Consistency and patience are key to seeing the fruits of the seeds we plant. Planting positive seeds is a lifelong practice that requires awareness, intention, and effort. It's about choosing to focus on what's good, what's possible, and what's within our power to change. When we plant positive seeds, we create a mental and emotional landscape that supports our growth, resilience, and well-being. It's about taking responsibility for the seeds we plant and nurturing them with care, so that they can grow into a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment.